From New York City.
And
New York City Department of Education.
Oh, yeah.
So you know a good bit of our pension money is going into
AFT?
these bonds. Yes.
yeah, I was AFT 40 years.
You were, so you know where your pension money went to, right?
National
So you think the AFT should get its pension money out of Israel bonds?
Well, I think that everybody should get their money out of Israel bonds until they decide to be fair with the people. We talk about one nation. We should be talking about one world. Okay.
So we can't have discrimination against anybody?
We can't have discrimination against anybody in this world, and that includes
My name is Stanley Heller. I'm chairperson of the Middle East Crisis Committee, and I do a TV show called The Struggle.
And you've been active in the teachers union and also raised the issue of Israeli bonds. Why don't you talk about your history on that issue of Israel and Israeli bonds in the labor movement?
Well, Israel is selling its bonds to the U.S., and for some reason unions are buying it. And no one knows how much, tens of millions of dollars. And I've been working on Palestinian issues for about 30 years. And we finally said, you know, why can't we raise this issue with union members? I mean, they have no interest in it. Why would they want their money sent overseas? I mean, it's one thing to help another union in another country, but to give money to a foreign government, and particularly one that has, you know, ultra right wing in so many aspects, you know, so we decided to raise the issue. And we made a website. We call it dumpisraelbonds.com. And we started getting people together on the issue. And my own union, the American Federation of Teachers, I was in it 40 years until I retired. Now I'm a retired member. I wrote to them on the national level, and they quickly answered back. They said they had $300,000 worth of Israel bonds, and we're going to keep it. And haven't been successful in raising it. Raised it in my local, and they kept tabling it, and raised it at the state level, and they didn't do anything with it. So I haven't had any real success at the AFT level, but in the afl-cio as a whole, there is a different development. At the New Haven Labor Council, about a year ago, we were able to get a resolution passed calling for the state afl-cio to divest itself, get rid of all these Israel bonds. And we brought it up again and again at the state level, and when their bonds matured this spring, they didn't buy any new bonds. Now, they didn't make a decision, there was no resolution and so on, so they could buy them tomorrow. But at this point, they're clean of Israel bonds.
Why the labor leadership, the afl-cio, the Teamsters, and the SEIU support the Israel and what it's doing?
I can't understand it. It's certainly not for the benefit of their members. I mean, the best I can see is that they are individually, some of the leaders get nice treatment from the various Israel lobby folks, Jewish Labor Committee and so on, and in return they buy these bonds. I mean, the other thing is that the union leaders are in bed with the Democratic leadership, and they're all with Israel, so there's that mix too. But it's certainly not for the good of the members.
You think unions should be supporting Jewish states or Muslim states or religious states?
Not at all. I think American unions should be supporting America or American labor and unions around the world, and people who aren't discriminatory.
So you're encouraging other U.S. unionists to take up a campaign to divest of their Israeli bonds?
Yeah, the first thing you ought to do is find out what they own. In other words, write to the treasurer, the secretary-treasurer of their union, and say, do you own Israel bonds, and how much? I suspect that they have to tell you legally. And if we know that, that's real help. We have a website, dumpisraelbonds.com. We have a list of a lot of the unions that have the bonds, but we don't know how much they have. So there's a lot of good information there, and people could get involved in this and really help out the cause of American unions and certainly the Palestinians. They could certainly benefit from this.
And what do you think about this rally today and what's happened at the rally? Are you surprised by the turnout? Or?
It's hard for me to know what the turnout is, but I guess it's huge. Here we are at the Washington Monument, and we could see people all the way down to Lincoln Memorial. So from what I heard, the speeches are not much of anything from the officials, but there's been other delegations and contingents, and there was a combination of UNAC, I think it's United National Peace Committee, and then UFPJ, and there was 2 rallies actually where there was all kinds of terrific anti-war speakers, and that was worth the trip.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.